Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Today we're going to talk about the diabolical Tennessee government and the evil and wickedness that's behind it, with evidence continuing with yesterday's show. And also, we got another one today. We took another one down today, not with violence, but with truth. And we're going to show you some evidence today talking about some of the public corruption in the dirty state of Tennessee by government officials. And we're going to explicate that a little bit. Big fancy word for explain. So did that impress the hell out of you? Thank y'all very much. Come on in. Welcome. Thank you for the like. So this is the Charles Van Morgan Show, worldwide broadcasting. Thank everyone for joining us. We are talking about people in power, corruption, and the diabolical influence behind it, and going to give you evidence straight from the horse's mouth, not hearsay and innuendo. We're going to give you evidence based on court deposition testimony where they were under oath and people in government power lied. They lied about things where using their own words. And it's not just hyperbole. It is talking about stuff where they were warned that and put under oath that you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help your God. And then they went on to lie after they were warned that they were under oath. And we can point that out and show that to you. Government officials and the court system sanctioned that and approved of the dirty lies. We're going to show you what we're up against in our dirty Tennessee government. And we need to fight that. And we're going to guide you through fighting it. So come on in. Welcome, welcome. Stuff you won't hear anywhere else. And it puts my life at risk, but so be it. God's called me for this fight. This is a time of war right now. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Enjoy the show. We got some stuff you'll never hear anywhere else. And it is because right now, specifically, we are in a time of war worldwide against Iran, declared by the President of the United States, and also in the state of Tennessee, declared by Andy Ogle, war in the state of Tennessee against the judiciary. I have broadened that, expanded that to include people in government power in the state of Tennessee. And we're going to read you our scriptural and spiritual basis for this war, not with weapons, not with killing and fighting. It's a war of attrition, and which means we keep going, we take our losses and move forward. And it's a war of information, an information war, a messaging war, getting the truth out against their falsehoods. We're going to show you some of their falsehoods. The whole government in the state of Tennessee is full of this type of stuff, and that's what we're here for, to fight that. We're doing it in several fronts. We'll explain those fronts to you. Attacking peacefully, not violently. We don't believe in violence. They'd love for me to say something violent so they could come and arrest me and lock me up. And in the campaign for justice for all of Tennesseans. This isn't for me. This is for you. So welcome, welcome. Come on in. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. We'll get right into it. Appreciate y'all being here. And we will show you what this is about. There's my Christian flag, my Christian banner. And today we're talking about, we have been successful. We've gotten one of them. We have been able to take down one of the enemy in retirement. A Major Stacy Heatherly is a casualty, non-violently, of our attack. It's a counterattack of our attack on their lies and their mistreatment of you. And this is similar to people in our government power that should be in a mental ward because of mental psychotic issues, quite frankly, very clear, or it could be mental issues are compared to demonic possession, which also could be a case. You make your decision. I think it's probably a lot like demonic possession. People in government power are, some of them are demonically possessed. So can y'all hear me? Welcome. Come on in. Yeah, we got this little screen messed up. So we'll turn off the black and the green screen if we can do that. So yeah, here we go. Excuse me while we're having a little technical difficulties. Yeah, okay. So we're having technical difficulties. Hold on just a second. We'll get this straightened out. Green screen. There we go. No. So yeah. No screen. There we go. Thank y'all for coming in. So we're going to talk about, hopefully y'all can hear me. We're going to talk about the crooked state government today and the stuff they're doing to you in the state of Tennessee. So when accusers get government power, a badge, a robe, a courthouse, slander becomes the law. Relentless accusations that never hold up in science or reality. Charges that collapse immediately and get replaced with new ones. Attacks on the innocent, and it only sticks in their courtrooms that are set up by them, and because they control the courtroom. We're talking about people in government power. Diabolical. They're accusers of the brethren, which is accusers of Tennesseans, accusers of me and you. That's not just mental illness. That is diabolical. The accusers, the slanderers, operating through government authority. And this is why I'm here, to point out this travesty, this injustice, this sickness that is infuriating, that has gone across our state and a lot of our nation, infiltrated our government institutions. And this is why I'm here. You won't hear this stuff anywhere else. This is a God-sent message, I believe. This is just simply the truth. We are talking about government, people in government power that are evil, accusers, either mentally ill or demonically possessed, which demonic possession is similar to mental illness. And we got one of them just the other day in retirement. They're praising this woman to high heaven when she caused mass fatalities, even caused her own self to get injured in a wreck. Even self-fooled herself. So she is retired now, which is a good thing. We're taking them down non-violently as we can. We're on the forefront of this fight, this real live fight against diabolical people, either mentally or demonically possessed, in government power. That's the truth. You want to hear that anywhere else? I know that is an astonishing statement to make, but I'm Charles Van Morgan. I have been through the fire. I know what they can do, and I'm going to present evidence to you of their lies. That's what Satan and demonically possessed people do. They accuse people. They accuse people of evil when they're doing it. When they're doing it themselves. That's what they do. So we're going to compare.
We're not just taxing.
We're going to compare people in state government right now in the state of Tennessee to mental illness. People are mentally ill, and they are, or demonically possessed. Now, I know that's an astonishing statement. We can back it up. People that are demonically possessed and are under the influence of demons and Satan. Satan is accuser of people. He makes false accusations against people. What I'm saying very clearly is that people in government power are accusing Tennesseans in their robe courtrooms falsely of wrongdoing when they're committing the wrongdoing their damn self. Now that's an astonishing statement. I'll back it up with evidence and proof. And no one else says this. No one else proclaims this truth because it's dangerous. Because when you do this, the government falsely will retaliate against you. They're already accusing me of a lot of things, and I'll show you exactly what they are and how false they are. They are lying to you on a mass grand scale and using the government and the courts to stamp the weight of legitimacy on dirty, rotten, crooked lies that endanger your lives, have killed thousands of Tennesseans for the past few years. One of them responsible, we got her just a few days ago in retirement, Major Stacy Heatherly, a liar of the last. I mean, one of the worst of the worst. And we're taking them down. You know, we're taking them down, not violently. Don't hurt any of these people. We're taking them down simply with what they hate. It's called the truth. They're full of lies and false accusations. So this slanderer, defamer, using the courts, and the courts back them up, to defame me, retired just the other day. We're making headway in our fight against corruption in the state government. Not for me. It's not at all for me. I'm not a victim of anybody. Never have been. I went through a lot of abuse and persecution in order to learn a lesson, in order to learn how wicked these people can be, to put me in a better position to defend and represent you, Tennesseans, in the truth. And that's what this channel's about. This channel's about truth, unbridled news, not controlled by the government. So I'm not a victim, I'm a learner. A difficult, hard learner. I've been through these lessons, so a lot of you won't have to. Listen to me, subscribe to the channel, spread the message. Unheard of message. Somebody with a cell phone, a YouTube channel, a good set of shoes. I need a lot of new ones because I do a lot of walking and talking, knocking on doors, speaking out, using the Constitution, the First Amendment, well within my constitutional rights. Nowhere outside my constitutional rights. In this country, we have a right to speak out against people in government power. Why? Obviously, they have a lot of power. They can affect your lives. They can prosecute you for crimes that you didn't commit. Maybe you think, maybe the crimes that they're committing. So even if you don't believe me, even if you don't believe a single word I say, and I'm going to prove what I'm saying in black and white, under oath. I mean, it's one thing somebody saying something out of justice. It's another thing to be on the record that you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, and then you go on to lie about stuff that causes people to get killed. Now, I'm going to show you how they did that. They did that, and I'm not a victim of that. I'm a learner of that. I've learned that. God prepared me to fight for you, I believe. But even if you don't believe me, even if you think that I'm completely ludicrous and way off base and unchristian, I've heard that because I'm speaking the truth. If you think speaking the truth is unchristian, then you're reading out of the wrong book. It is very Christian to tell the truth. And I understand love, and I understand we love our neighbor, love our enemies. But when you tell me don't tell the truth about our enemies, and that's love, that's not love. Love is setting them straight. And they have every opportunity in the whole world. They've been notified. I'm notified now to hold up that white flag and say, we're going to change our ways and represent all Tennesseans. They have that opportunity. They choose not to. And I choose to continue going forward with the power of the government against me, speaking the First Amendment, using my First Amendment rights and speaking out against them. They wield a lot of power. They have control over the courts. They have control over all the government agencies. Unheard of message. This is the new rights movement for you, get on board. This may be your last opportunity. They may assassinate me. I don't know. Attempts have been made. I'm just telling you, that's the truth. Go check out my mugshot. They put me in jail for speaking the truth. I'm not even speaking violence. I detest and abhor violence. They love violence. That's why they'd like to kill me. That's why they want to try to find a reason illegitimately to put me in jail. That's why I'm on the forefront. That's why I ask for your help, your assistance in this endeavor to take back the Tennessee government and put it in your favor. It's only a small group of people. They're not that big and they're not that bad. And if they were as tough as they want to be made out to be, they wouldn't be doing the dirty stuff that they're doing. They'd just tell the truth. So the First Amendment gives me the right to speak out against the government, even if you don't believe me, even if you think I'm not telling the truth, because you have the option of turning off the channel. And if you want to, turn the channel off. There's 2.3 million people and growing that ain't turning the damn channel off, that are listening to what I got to say. It's very astonishing. It's astonishingly the truth with evidence. I'll back it up. Their courtrooms have gone rogue. There are very few judges in the state of Tennessee that will administer justice, blind justice, according to the law. They get along to go along. Our courtrooms are set up as propaganda machines to keep the few people in power in power. That's what they're for. If you think the judiciary in Tennessee is above board, honest, and will give you a fair hearing across the board, then listen to me, because I'm going to explain to you how they do not, and they do it on a daily basis. They mistreat you. Now, I might be able to get a lot of votes and get in with the Republican Party, Democratic Party, if I stand up here and say, the judicial system is great. I want to just improve on the greatness of the people in power. But that'd be lying, and I'm not going to lie, to get on their conveyor belt to get in power. The way I intend, if I ever get in power, and if I don't, I'll be honest, because there's another payday in the next world, I believe, that evidently they don't believe in, but I got a message for them. There is another payday in heaven, and there's a judge that you'll stand before that sees everything, the evil and the good. And you see my prayer on the YouTube channel today, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish justice. That's what I'm praying today. So the First Amendment gives me the right to speak out against all these people because of the fact that they wield a lot of power in your lives. They have the power to put you on trial, to convince a jury and a judge to execute you. Should I not have the right to say that some of these justices are handpicked, that are put into place, that are on their team, that will adjudicate against you no matter what, that will make up evidence? Should I not be able to present that ideal to you? Or do you want me to just say judges are great and let them keep doing this? The opposing side in our form of government has the right to get out because of the fact, it's very obvious, they wield a lot of power. That power can be misused, and it is misused. I am making that allegation. I am prosecuting the people in government power. What a jurist ask. Ain't that hard? They make it so blatantly obvious that it's easy. They're easy pickings. The problem is that the retaliation, they try to retaliate against anyone, and they do. That speaks out against them. Now they put me through living hell, but that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. They don't understand what a true fighter is. A fighter is someone that they will knock down over and over again and say horrific lies about me. Put my picture in the front page of the paper. THP trooper ignored wreck. That's not true. I didn't ignore a wreck. I ignored what I thought was a parked car under the circumstances. They lie about that. They don't put that. They want to put this propaganda machine against me while I was out risking my life for you. The one we got just the other day that's gone off into retirement, that we're not just going to let her walk out of here like that either. Nothing violent, but her payday is not yet fully resigned, and she still has power in the state government, even in retirement. That's one of the problems. So we'll still work on her. We took a major part of her power away. But they do wrong to you, and they have attacked me. Trooper loses appeal. Of course I lose appeal in their robe courtroom with their hand-pointed judge that put evidence that wasn't there, that lied about it. And then here's what they do. They accuse you of what they're doing wrong. I was out lowering the fatality rate. It was lower when I was out on the road. Obviously, fact that they can't deny. I was getting people that were bouncing off telephone poles that were horrifically dangerous to themselves and others. I mean, look at the incident that they alleged that I did wrong, that they took my job away. I was in pursuit of someone that I was trying to apprehend for his own safety and for your safety. But they flip that around with a lie, and the courtrooms adjudicate, in their dirty courtrooms in Tennessee, they adjudicate that good is evil, and a person that we got her, Major Stacy Heatherly, is good. And they're still trying to spread that message. She's good. How dare somebody stand up and say she's not good? She caused a lot of y'all to get killed on Tennessee roadways. Little children got killed because of that woman. She got hit by a drunk driver herself because of that woman. Because when you take somebody off the road that is diligently believes in the government, believes that it is ultimately honest and fair and good, that is out protecting you with authority given to them in the government, and then the government does dirty to them because they apply the law fairly, because they know too much, because they're making everybody look bad. I made them look bad by showing up to work every day and doing what I was supposed to do. And hundreds of troopers across the state, the average drunk driving arrest the trooper made, the average drunk driving arrest that trooper makes was 2 drunk driving arrests a year. They weren't doing their job. I was making 150. I didn't report, complain on anybody. I was doing what I did. I knew they didn't do their job. I wasn't their supervisor. I was assigned highway safety. I did that. But just doing what I was assigned to do made them look bad. Just showing up to work. 150 drunk driving arrests. Why couldn't other troopers make even close to that? Because they weren't doing their job, because they didn't have to, because they were related to somebody, and they got fed off from your table, from your tax money, to do absolutely nothing. I made them look bad. Made them look very bad. Now, there's another trooper, Marty Nix, that made them look bad. And they got rid of him, too. They got rid of him for making a sexual harassment complaint. So this is information you won't hear anywhere else. This is an attack, a peaceful, civilized warfare. Nothing violent, nothing dangerous in what I'm saying. Everything I'm doing is completely legal and legitimate. The things they're doing is illegal, like a criminal syndicate. Let me say this very plainly so there won't be any misunderstanding of my accusations. What people in the Tennessee government, people in power in the Tennessee government are doing is a criminal syndicate against you. Yes, I said that. That is what I think. That is what I believe. I have proof of that. That is the way it is. I've been in the government. That's what they did. They're a criminal syndicate. They're organized to do criminal activities to benefit themselves, to lie, cheat, rob, and steal, and heinous crimes in order to keep themselves in power at your expense. They're doing that. They're criminals. Some of the judges are criminals. They're stamping the way to lie on stuff that's false, obviously false, adding lies to false stuff, giving it the legitimacy of the weight of law, fooling people by running for public office based on dirty, nasty, stingy lies. Now, that's my accusation. It's beautiful to speak the truth, isn't it? Now, that's a sad thing to say. That's on them, not on me. If they don't want me saying that about them, they don't need to do that. They can straighten it up. Governor Lee has got messages for me. Hey, look at this stuff going on. Look at this stuff. I've talked to friends when I knocked on their door. Look at this stuff he did. Look at the fatality rate skyrocketing. What they've done and other things they've done. And told him, friends of his, they know him well. They go fishing with him, hunting with him. Just honestly telling him, straighten this stuff out. This is wrong. He made in a statement, he said in a statement that he would uncover and correct injustices wherever we find it. Here's some little injustices. And he continues on in those endeavors and actually makes it worse. So the fact that I'm pointing it out in the First Amendment, there's nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with what they're doing. If they don't like what I'm doing, correct it. They won't correct it. It's up to us to fight it. Fight it hard. This is the new social movement. The civil rights movement of the 60s and 70s. Excellent thing. Learned a lot from that. About minority rights. Absolutely. And rights of all people. Dr. Martin Luther King, a wonderful man, wonderful person. Had bricks hit him in the head, kept on marching peacefully for the rights of minorities. I mean, when you have a system of injustice where black people can't drink out of the same water fountain as me, a white person, there's something wrong with that system. It's not right. When you have legal decisions, Plessy versus Ferguson, were separate but equal is all right. No, it's not. That was a bad decision. Some of the bad decisions in the court system are designed to keep us down, millions of Tennesseans. I'm talking to you, they're designed to keep you down. I'm just pointing it out. Stuff I've uncovered. I've been through the fire. I've been through the system. I have information that you may not be privy to. Although a lot of Tennesseans have this information, it's a wonderful thing to know things. So I'm going to explain this to you today, speaking on my First Amendment rights, about how dirty the government is. Hopefully you get on board. We're fighting them on several fronts. We're fighting them in federal court under the First Amendment, freedom of speech, to sue the government, not for money, but for injunction, to get them to stop some of their criminal activity, to get them to stop them from denying me law license under lies and falsehood, that lies by Tennessee Judiciary. And if you think you'll get a fair court hearing in the Tennessee courtroom, good luck with that. The odds aren't very good. There are some good judges, not many. So when the accuser gets government power, and they have government power right now, that's what we're fighting. A badge, a robe, a courthouse, slander becomes a law, because some of them are demonically influenced, or they're downright freaking crazy, mentally insane. And I think it's a little bit of both. What do you think? So let's see how many people got in here. We'll continue with this dialogue. Thank you all so very much. Let's see if people. We have a lot of people in here. Thank you all. God bless you all for showing up and watching the show. So attacks on the innocent, on you. This government's attacking you. This government is making an attack on you. This is a counterattack against what they're doing. And it only sticks in their courtrooms because they control the courtroom. I'm just telling you, they control their courtrooms. There are some good judges, very few. They go along to get along, because they'll do the same thing to them they did to me. So I'm sent, I'm a fighter, and we're winning this war and this fight against people in state power. You won't hear this anywhere else. Like, share, subscribe. This may be your only chance. And this makes sense. Just keep listening to me. This is on. This is real. This is the new rights movement, the women's suffrage movement. Excellent thing. Women didn't have the right to vote. Really? My mother, a widow, raising five fatherless children, didn't have the right to vote early before the women's suffrage movement. That was wrong. But those were then, and people back in that day stepped up to fight the government. It was the government that denied people the right to vote. It was the government, people in government power, that made separate but equal okay. It's not okay. That was then. We learned a lot from them. Those people stepped up. I'm asking you in Tennessee to step up today. This is new. And they stood up. They had courage against the government. I'm asking people today to step up against people in government power. All these other candidates on the ballot and all these other people fighting the government for other people, lawyers fighting them, they haven't been through the experience that I have been through, where I know what they do. I know what they're capable of. I know how wicked and diabolical they are. And I'm calling them out for exactly what they are. So train for battle, not a victim, a student of their abuse. I know what it is. And the difference between me and them is they'll tell you they're fighting government power. That's what they'll say. I have been through the government abuse. They'll tell you they're fighting government corruption. I've been through the corruption that I'm fighting. I'm the real deal. They're not. And all of them, for the most part, are in government power now. So listen to my message, what I'm trying to tell you. And what they're doing is diabolical. Either mentally insane or demonically possessed. That's my accusation. Because the devil accuses people. And the government, the people in the slander operating through government and authority. The people in Tennessee government are accusing people. Not only me, they're accusing people in their dirty, nasty courtrooms every day. And here's the examples of their accusations. Trooper loses appeal in their courtrooms. I shouldn't have lost the appeal. That was wrong. That was a dirty Tennessee crooked court decision. And now they'll hold my law license over my head and maybe give them to me if I go along with their program, which is a dirty lie and which caused people to get killed. THP trooper ignored wreck, doxing me, trying to get me killed, putting my picture in the paper, trying to get me killed, saying I ignored a wreck. That's false. Assassination attempt on my life. That was 13 years ago. They ain't got it done yet. They ain't going to get it done. Pray for my safety. And all the time. And then they accused me of what they did. They took me off the road. They took me out of their courtrooms. And then they blame what they did on me. Look at this. Dozens of trooper tickets tossed. Credibility and firing, assistant DA says. 100 trust drivers tear up their court papers and walk away courtesy of the ex-highway patrol trooper. Say they're courtesy of me. I didn't do any of that. They did that. So they'll blame you. That's a pretty good trick. Blame me for what they did. Wow, wonderful. Well, let me tell you what. I'm not responsible for what they did. They're responsible for what they did. They're accountable for what they did, and I'm holding them accountable right now. I was out at night. This is how diabolical they are. I was out at night by myself. The trooper works by themselves, stopping cars every night, all night, leading the state in life-saving drunk driving arrests, getting more dangerous people off the road. Drunk drivers have thanked me for saving their life. People make mistakes. I get that. Putting them in a safe place. They could have got out in a court if they got a good enough attorney. I wasn't in the business of seeing how strict and how much time I could give people. I don't agree with how strict the drunk driving laws are because they only apply to you. They don't apply to them. Getting people off the road, the fatality rate was under 1,000 people every year when I was on the road saving lives. And they in a courtroom, now listen how diabolical this is. In a courtroom with sheriff's deputies that we pay taxes to fund them, were protecting them while they made a decision to endanger your life. Now that's not hard to comprehend, is it? They allege that thanks to me, all those drunk driver charges were dismissed. I would have went to court, but they would not let me, thanks to them, and they would not let me due to their lies. And that's a lesson I've learned, how dangerous they are. They don't care about your safety. They even made it dangerous for themselves. We got one of them the other day in retirement, but we're not done with her yet. And it's not defamation. It's the truth. It's defamation, what she said about me. She said that you can see better at night than you can at the daytime. Listen to their lies. I mean, just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. I mean, you can say the earth is flat, and there's a lot of flat earth believers. You can say the moon landing was fake, and there's a lot of people that believe that. The moon landing, let me tell you something. The moon landing was not fake. The United States of America, this great country, landed, put American feet, one small step for a man, one giant step for mankind. The United States of America, this great, awesome country that gives me the right to stand up against evil, supposedly landed somebody on the moon. Their feet were on the moon. It did happen. It wasn't fake. I did not dismiss one ticket. I wrote them at night to protect society. They endanger society. The earth is not flat. Let me blow your world up. The earth is not flat. Go on YouTube, type in any earth picture and look at it. I mean, and look at, I wrote the tickets courtesy of me. They're dismissed. It wasn't my credibility. My credibility is stellar. My credibility is excellent. My credibility started deteriorating according to them when I started making them look bad by making hundreds and then doing nothing. So they released the hundreds that I made to protect you and took me off the map. So they still do nothing. The fatality rate for the past few years, thanks to the one we got the other day, that even got hit by one herself is over 1,000. Now they say this year, the year 2025, the fatality rate went down. It went down to astonishing high level. So when I was on the road, it was low. Fewer people were killed. After they lied on me, they dismissed hundreds of tickets. It skyrocketed. More people got killed because they sent a message that it doesn't matter how many drunk driving arrests you do. It doesn't matter how much you protect the public. It matters how much you worship and do what we want you to do. The few people in power, they sent that message to all troopers. They stopped making drunk driving arrests. They have to mandate troopers to make drunk driving arrests now, and mandate how many stops they make. I did it because it was a duty. It was an honorable thing to try to lower the fatality rate. They got people in the highway patrol that don't want to do their job. They want a paycheck, and for their friends and family, they get so much money. And I lowered the fatality rate. They raised the fatality rate for you and your family, and then they blame it on me. At the same time, I was out lowering the fatality rate. That's not the only thing I was doing. That's not the only thing I was doing. I was out lowering the cost of living for you. You say, wow, excuse me, isn't that a joke? How were you lowering the cost of living? You were making drunk driving arrests. Well, when you stop theft of thousands and thousands of dollars, would have went up to millions of dollars of citizens, then you lower the fatality rate because citizens are defrauded. They have to pay more for stuff. So, and I can prove it. I can prove it. Now, the woman that we took down the other day, and we took down this credit card theft ring, we took down her. We're winning. We're not losing anything. We're not losing anything. We may not win the governor's race. That's just one front, and we might. If we do, there'll be a lot of government officials behind bars because they're the enemy, not you. In my courtrooms, if I ever get in the governor's office, ever get in power, in my courtrooms, your life's not on the block. Right now, let me tell you, you need to subscribe, vote. Your life's on the block. Your life's on the line. You're in jeopardy. Under my courtroom, a Morgan administration, you're not even a defendant. You're not in the courtroom. You haven't done anything wrong. Mass Tennesseans, this is your courts. This is your judiciary. You decide what's right and wrong. What is wrong, obviously, is what hurts society, not what they say. That keeps them in power. That's what it's all about. Whatever keeps them in power, keeps the blood sucking off you at your demise, keeps them lying about you. In my courtroom, they are the defendants. They're being prosecuted, not you. Don't worry about it. Your life's not even going to be on the chopping block. Theirs is. That's why they're fighting me. Because they need to be. Because of the evil, wicked crimes that the people in the judiciary, the people elected to government office steal and take your money. While I was in government office, look at this right here. PhD student jailed for now this was June. This was June. And this is the diabolical, the slanders. They slander me. I'm no good. I'm trash. I'm not worthy. I let a young kid burn to death. That's not true. That's a lie. They did wicked, evil stuff against you, not just me. God taught me that lesson, put me through this in order so that I can know and attack them for their evil, wicked. I was once like you. Maybe some of y'all already know. I trusted people in government power. I thought that they were legitimate, that they would fulfill their oath of offices and their jobs. And it comes soon to find out, if they will do this to a trooper, what will they do to you? Much, much worse. Much, much worse than what they did to me. So this right here is a PhD student. This was June of 2011. Now they fired me just a few short months later, making them look bad. Carlton A. Lewis was hardly the usual suspect, the son of a professor, a prestigious women's college, himself an honor student, aspiring doctorate candidate at the University of Georgia. Now he learned his lesson. This is nothing bad about him. He pled guilty and took his punishment. If he had used his knowledge into legitimate means, he'll make a lot of money. Very smart young man, did wrong, and I think he's probably corrected his ways. Nothing bad about him. The bad part is about people in state government, what they did. But authorities says Lewis is a prolific identity theft and brainchild of a sophisticated plot to use restaurant servers across the southeastern U.S. to steal diners' debit and credit card account information. The scheme first hinted at after a March 26 DUI arrest in Knoxville was fully uncovered Wednesday when the appearance before U.S. Judge Bruce Gayton of Baton Rouge, waitress Shanna Evans, Assistant U.S. Attorney Zachary Brilliges in a recently unveiled indictment that Everett is one of many servers who aided Lewis and partner Darren Rodley in year-long plot that netted Lewis a profit of at least $145,000. And I'm the one that made that DUI arrest. That's June. A few months later, they fired me. So not only was I leading the state in lowering the fatality rate, I was also heavily involved in protecting your billfold. Now, I made that stop on Chapman Highway, and the district attorney here, Sharman Tissue Allen, her district attorney's office, now tried to dismiss that case, saying that I didn't have a legitimate reason for the stop. I'm telling you what I'm up against. They don't want me to get credit for anything, and I didn't want to get credit for anything. I was simply doing my job. I wasn't looking for credit. I hoped to be promoted in order to teach other people how to do what I was doing. And I originally was a field training officer, both in the departments I worked for before, for the University of Tennessee Police Department, and also for the Highway Patrol until Lieutenant Ogle took over my shift and started putting younger people in my position, gave them FTO and took me off the FTO program where I couldn't train people how to do this, because I would have trained them how to do that and would have made their good old boys look bad. She made people FTO, field training officers. Now, I was out doing this. I knew how to do this, and I'll tell you how I did that. I knew how to make drunk driving arrests better than any trooper in the state. I made 150 drunk driving arrests every year. That's dramatically lowering the fatality rate. I mean, if you have, like in Iran, if you have an airplane bomber that's exceptionally good at what he does, flies a F-15 better than anybody can avoid drones, and he's just exceptionally good at what he does, and he can bypass all the other F-15 flyers and bomb more of the ISIS terrorists in Iran than any other person. You'd think you'd want that person to be benefited. But if he's out there doing that, he might get promoted if he's allowed to keep doing that. So your own people shoot him down, try to have him assassinated. Would that go on in Tennessee government? It damn well did. I'm explaining it to you. They should have given me awards. In fact, they did right before they fired me. They got awards for what I did. I'll show you that. I did such a good job. They got awards for what I did. After they took my job from me, that's how crooked these people, diabolical, after they slandered me. They're slanderers. They're either mentally insane or they're demonically possessed. And I think they're demonically possessed, because demonic possession and Satan is associated with people that are mentally ill. And Satan is an accuser of people. Look what they accuse me of. They accuse me of falsehoods. So this man was driving down Chapman Highway, and he crossed over the double yellow line. So I initiated a traffic stop because he crossed over the double yellow line. Stopped him at the Haslam's Pilot gas station where they rip people off, step over bodies to make money off people. Haslam's crooked gas stations. He sold a lot of them now. But pulled him over and got the driver out, Mr. Lewis, to do sobriety tests. He failed the sobriety test, and I arrested him for drunk driving. When I was doing the inventory of the car, I looked in the car and noticed that it had a lot of Walmart gift cards in the car, stacks of them in rubber bands, and it had scanning equipment. And I thought, this doesn't look right. Something wrong with it. I didn't know what it was. But I knew that something did not appear right about that, and a lot of Walmart stuff in the car. And so began investigating it. Knoxville police officers, to their credit, were with me at the scene, and they're the ones that pointed out, while we were doing the inventory, found more of the Walmart credit cards, and even agreed with me there's something wrong with that. So they assisted in the investigation, Knoxville police officers, to their honor. And so the Highway Patrol contacted an investigator with the Criminal Investigation Division of the Highway Patrol, and we contacted the Secret Service and began looking into the activities and the bank account, which is open records of this man I'd arrested for drunk driving, and uncovered this multi-state fraud theft ring. Now, what these people were doing is he had servers in several different states, Georgia, I think Alabama, Tennessee, and when they would get your credit card, they would take that information when you're paying for your meal. They'd take that information and they would scan it on one of the scanners that he had in the back of his car, and it would scan your credit card information. So then they'd charge you for your meal, give you your card back, and they had download your information. And then after they downloaded your information on the credit cards, then they couldn't download that information on another credit card. But what they do is they download that information on a Walmart gift card, and then they went to Walmart and they would buy goods and sell the goods, and that's how they were making money. He had over $140,000 in his account that he had stole from patrons in the stores, and so some of them got refunds from the stores, and I'm sure some of the people just were defrauded out of their money, probably just got a new card. But that causes the price of living to go up. When stores have to refund people and nobody pays for the meal because somebody has to pay for that, that causes the cost of living to get up. I uncovered that credit card theft ring. Now I didn't expect any award or anything for it. I did that as a normal course and part of my job. That made the papers, and it would have went up to millions of dollars had I not put a stop to it. The Knox County prosecutor, Sharman Tissue Allen, listen, Knoxville, I'm just telling you what happened. You can believe me or not. I mean, it's right here in the paper. And I stopped that car and made that arrest and investigated this with Criminal Investigation Division, the Highway Patrol. There are some good people in the Highway Patrol, and also the Secret Service that's involved in financial crimes. They guard the president, and also a lot of people don't know they're involved in investigating financial crimes. We got them involved because it was multi-state, and we prosecuted this man. And I remember when I arrested him for DUI, I went to the prosecutor's office, and they knew about all this stuff we were investigating. And a prosecutor with the Knox County DA's office literally yelled at me, took me up to their office and said, "You made a lot of these drunk driving arrests that you had no reason for the stop." Literally yelled at me for making a drunk driving arrest. She alleged that he only went over the double yellow line one time and I had no reason to stop him. A lawyer with their idiot department that doesn't care about you, that cares about people like Major Stacy Heatherly, that was probably most likely giving them breaks on their DUIs. And I put the people that were drunk driving, no matter who they were, even members of the Knoxville Bar, I enforced the law on them equally, because it's not fair to me to stop some citizen that doesn't have a lot of money, and then a well-paid public servant, politician, to let them get out of their charges of drunk driving. And they didn't like that because I wasn't allowed to. On paper, you're allowed to. According to the law, you're allowed to. But I wasn't really allowed to enforce the law on them like everybody. And I couldn't do that. That's hard to do, to write somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, that's speeding, just made a mistake, and you got to slow them down. So you write them a citation. And then one of the public officials, like Sharman Tissue Allen, speeding down the interstate, which she does all the time. It's her county. She thinks, no, it's your county. She ought to be in jail for the crimes that she's committed. So they wanted me out of here. We can't have somebody that enforces the law fairly. We are above you, and we're going to show that, and we're above the citizenry. That's what they think in Knox County. And I'm not talking about the cases you hear about. The cases you hear about where they're prosecuting people are people that probably went against them. They're probably completely innocent. The cases that really need to be uncovered are the cases that you never hear about. And I'm telling you about them right now. So I arrested that man, and the prosecutor in Knox County told me I had no reason for the stop because he only went over the double yellow line one time. factually, you have to go over the WO one time legally. Factually, legally, there's case law that you have to go over the white line on the edge of the roadway 3 times. Not one time, not 3 times the double yellow line, only 1 time the double yellow line, obviously because you're headed head on into somebody. You do that 1 time and you can legally be stopped. Now you might give a warning, you might have just not been paying attention or avoiding somebody, but an officer has a reason to stop you if you go over the double yellow line 1 time. The prosecutor was trying to argue that I had no reason to stop because he didn't go over the double yellow line 3 times. That's for the white fog line. That's not for, and so they were literally trying to argue that with me. And I was in law school at the time, so I knew what they were saying was a lie, and I disagreed with them. But they were trying, had they had their way, they were going to dismiss that whole case against that person, try to dismiss the stop, fruits of the poisonous tree doctrine. If you don't have a reason to stop somebody in the first place, even if they're committing criminal acts later, you had no reason to make the stop, so you wouldn't have known that. So everything goes away. So that every crime that person was committing would have still been going on had it been up to the Knox County Prosecutor's Office, now run by Sharman Tissue Allen. I'm just telling you the truth. That's the way it is. You don't believe me? Look at the front page of the paper. That's one of the last successful things I was allowed to do that they themselves tried to get rid of because they don't care if you get ripped off. They want to maintain power, and I made them look bad, and I would have put them in jail, and they couldn't have that. They can't have that. An attorney with the Knoxville bar, the crooked Knoxville bar, for the most part, there's some good attorneys in Knoxville, but the Knoxville bar is a bunch of crooks for the most part. I'll say that. That's the truth. Let them sue me. They made it where I don't have any money. You know, I'm pretty sue-proof. There's no judgment money there because of their wickedness and evil. Now they got a lot of money. You know, the people that they don't literally chase ambulances, but that's what they're doing, getting rich off mandatory insurance payments. And if you want this stuff to keep going on, keep voting the way you're voting. It'll get so bad that you won't be able to eat, and they don't care. They'll starve you out. They really don't care about you. You don't know how evil and wicked and diabolical and demonic, and some of them mentally insane these people are. We got one the other day. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. We did, our truthful information out about that rogue, drunken, sot, wrinkledy. And just look, that's not defamation. I'll show you some of the stuff she wears. It's really disgusting, a despicable, sick, pathetic, demonic person. In my mind, I believe, is now no longer in a position of authority in the Highway Patrol. Although in retirement, she probably controls a lot of that agency. Probably has a lot of blackmail information against a lot of people in highfalutin positions that she can still influence them. So we need to get rid of all of them, and we're on the road to do that. If you want us to do that, subscribe to the channel, share the message. You won't hear this anywhere else. This is just sheer, pure, unbridled truth. Fighting the enemy as hard as we can fight them. They need to be fought. Now's the time. Our forefathers and foremothers stepped up and produced outcomes against the government. This is now. This is April. This is March, coming up on April 2026. This is a new movement for you. There's stuff going on at the voting booth. We have more people than they do that can annihilate, can destroy these wicked, evil, criminal thugs that have taken over our government and are attempting to destroy you and annihilate you wrongfully. And we can fight them. So help me fight these people in government power. And we can do it. We'll get on with the show. Thank y'all for joining. We got a lot more to show. Got a lot more to talk about. Let's see how many people we got in here. We got quite a few. And Dave Miller said hi. Hello. Come on in, like, share, and spread the message worldwide. So we're getting out worldwide, getting outside the little Tennessee box, which is the plan to stop the corruption in the Tennessee government. So let's compare Candace Owens to someone in a mental ward, some of the accusations, baseless accusations that Candace Owens is making. Now, Candace Owens is a popular podcaster, commentator, and she is making a lot of alarming statements. She is alleging that the Jews, the Jewish people in the Israel nation are committing genocide, and saying that the wife of Charlie Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, was responsible partly for Charlie Kirk's murder. Completely baseless accusations, alarming, defamatory, just like Satan or Lucifer, somebody that belongs in a mental ward. Conspiracy, slanderous accusations on ministries of pattern of Satanic or something even darker. And the question is it mental illness or demonic influence or both? And my accusation is quite frankly this, unheard of, that people in government power are making false accusations, slanders. That is a quality of Lucifer, Satan, because he makes accusations against the devil. He's a liar, a deceiver, a defamer. So some people in government power are either demonically influenced or mentally ill because the accusations they make are so sickening, and they get the news media and a lot of people to go along with them. So the word diabolical comes from the Greek accuser, slander. And his nature isn't, that's devil, comes from diabolical, accuser, the slander. His nature isn't violence first, it's accusations. Now there have been false accusations made against me. They're very false. But I learned from them. God taught me these things. This was necessary to fulfill my calling, which is to fight for you. I was fighting for you on the road, making it safer for you to get home, protecting your pocketbook. Obviously, they don't care about any of that. And they showed me how wicked and corrupt they are. Defamed, slandered me. So I'm fighting this slander, and I'm going to show you some lies that they told, completely baseless, black and white. They put this stuff out in the paper. Trooper loses appeal. Of course I did. In their slanderous courtroom, they're rogue judges. Trooper ignored wreck. That's a lie. I didn't ignore a wreck. That's false. Blaming me for somebody else's actions. Did they go after the people that served that young man alcohol? They went after the trooper that his heart was set on saving that young man's life, convincing his family to hate my children and defame and chase my children around while they were at school. What evil and wickedness. Like I keep saying, we got one of them the other day, and we'll get some more. We'll get some more. They're violent. We're not violent. We're getting them justifiably, honorably with truth. This is real stuff, real live, a real social movement in March of 2026. Pick up the baton with me and let's carry this across the finish line, hopefully all the way to the governor's office. If not that, put a dent, make them be unfunctioning, point out how corrupt and wicked they are. And while I was lowering your fatality rate, they blame me, dozens of trooper tickets dismissed for what they did, for their evil and wickedness, for skyrocketing the fatality rate. So it is not out of the box conspiracy to say that they're doing what they're evil to you. They're doing what they're accusing me of. So like devils would, influenced by the devil. Devils come from diabolic, Greek for the accuser, the slander. His nature isn't violent at first, although they've been very violent. The slander that never holds up. I mean, they got a mugshot of me, a mugshot, never held up, would have never held up before a jury of my peers. Now they've had stuff hold up in their courtrooms before their rogue, hand-picked, dirty, lying, defamatory judges. Yeah, I said that. That's what they are. Judges in Tennessee have lied about me. Now, if I could have got stuff to a jury in a criminal case, then I would have been able to bring it to you, the public, which is what I'm doing now. I'm bringing you this case to the public. Real live, real stuff you won't hear anywhere. I assure you, you won't hear this anywhere. Out of the box, learn from their corruption how to fight them, and I'm fighting them right now with information. This is a messaging war to getting out the truth against them. I'm accusing them of being diabolical, of being either mentally ill or demonically possessed, but according to their activity, people in government power. Not all of them, for the most part, and other ones have to go along to get along. Slander that never holds up charges that collapse, but they move on to the next. So they got my mugshot, but did you get a conviction? Now they've got judges to wrongfully adjudicate that I did something wrong, but that's their dirty, crook, demonic, diabolical, slandering judges that have adjudicated that. If I'd have been able to bring it to the public like I'm bringing it to you now, it would have never stood up, because it's absurdity, the things that they're saying against me. And they are saying the same things against you. If they can do that to a trooper, a stellar trooper, the best trooper they had, one of the best, another one was Marty Nix, and they've got some other ones I won't mention, they want to remain anonymous, then what can they do to you? They do it every day in a Tennessee courtroom. It's my calling to stand up and fight that. Nobody else will. It's too dangerous because of retaliation from the enemy. They retaliate against me. They put me in the hospital, hurt me, arrested me falsely. But when it come to putting their case before a jury, quickly dismissed it. Imagine that. So slander that never holds up. Sound familiar? In government, that's what they do. They do it all the time. So the pattern. Psychotic sounding claims. Relentless accusations. None of them hold up in reality or science. And I'm just telling you, they don't hold up. I'm going to show you some of their false, baseless claims that they've made that have held up in their courtrooms, that their judges have approved of, given the apparent legitimacy of law, and it's not legitimate. It goes against facts and science. That's our Tennessee courtroom today. Let it go on and they'll get you. This is not something you can ignore. This is the new rights movement for you, for the mass millions of Tennesseans. They're scared of me. They're watching my page. They're listening to everything I say. Good. We're fighting you. We have tactics that you don't even know about. Let me say this. None of them involve your tactics of violence and lies and diabolical things, anything illegal. The tactics that we are using are our God-given constitutional rights. And just because you don't honor the Constitution don't mean that God doesn't. Accusations only stick in their courtrooms, not in facts, not in evidence. They don't. I'll show you. When one falls apart, immediately pivot to the next. That's not mental illness alone. That's a spirit. That's the spirit of the people in power in Tennessee government. I'm not against government. Government is good. Government is a great thing. We have to have government. I'm not one of the people that think that I'm not bound by government rules and government authority. A sovereign citizen. That's ridiculous. I believe in government. Government is good. I believe that the people in power today have infiltrated the government and made it a government only to serve them, and they breadcrumb the public and lie to the public and mistreat you. And that's what we're fighting. Now, put that in government. Individual with patterns, with this pattern concerning. Individuals with this pattern is concerning. We got one the other day. Same pattern plus government authority, weaponized, diabolical. So what I'm saying very clearly is that the government is weaponized. The Tennessee government, other states too, I don't know. I'm speaking specifically about Tennessee. I know. I've been through the fire. I know. I've been trained. I'm ready. Let's go. The same pattern, government authority, is weaponized diabolically. The facade of law, courts, badges behind accusations. Now the slander has teeth, and the accused can't fight back easily. So when you have the government courts, road courts in Tennessee, a lot of them, road courts, they choose who represents you in a courtroom. Accuse me of not being honest when I've never been convicted of any crime, and they're committing crimes of dishonesty, the same judges that are adjudicating I'm not honest. Now that would be funny, sounds real hilarious, until they take everything you got by lying on you or putting you in jail falsely. And they do it every day. That's what we're fighting. a lot of these candidates are standing up saying they're going to fight for freedom and against government corruption. And they're in the government now. They've never been through the experiences that I have. They've never been trained in this stuff. They don't know about it. They're part of the system. So my call to action. Tennessee has seen this pattern in courts, appointments in the system. I've lived it and documented it. The Dirty Judiciary series exists because Diabolos got a robe. This is spiritual warfare with a government seal. And they commit fraud. Fraud comes when it's knowing misrepresentation of the truth or concealment of a material fact to induce another to act his or her determined. That's Black's Law Dictionary. In other words, if you lie in order to deprive a person or organization of their money or property, you're committing fraud. That's what they do. In Tennessee courtrooms, judges lie under color of law to commit atrocious acts against you. So, let's look at this. To everything there's a season. And a time, a purpose under the sun. This is Ecclesiastes. A time to born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Now's the time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. A time of war. So there's a time of war. A time to fight evil justifiably. Now that time, according to the Holy Scriptures, is a time that is called by elected officials, by people in the government. I'm not in the government. I can't call for a time of war. I have not called for a time of war. I have agreed with people in government power that have called for a time of war. The President of the United States has, in effect, declared war on the nation of Iran. We're over there bombing them right now today. Historic bombing of Iran. We are, according to Andy Ogles, he's declared war against the judiciary in the state of Tennessee. So, building on what they're saying, biblically, the authority is there. We're fighting Iran abroad. Andy Ogles, an elected official. We're fighting the judiciary and also people in government power at home in the state of Tennessee. This is declared a time of war. There's a time of war. So it's a beautiful time. In verse 11, he hath made everything beautiful in his time. So a time of war, everything beautiful in his time. This is a time of war, and it's a beautiful time. It's a wonderful time to be fighting the people in power in the Tennessee government. And that's the time now. That'll be a time of rebuilding after we get in power. And I know there's no good in them but for man to rejoice and to do good in his life. And that's what we're doing. There's a time of war. This is time of war. Right now, a historic time of war. A small period of time. We need to act. It's election time. We need to fight these people at the polls. And a good time. He hath made everything beautiful. So it's a good time. A good time. And so I ask y'all to join me. Women and men of war. This is our time. And if you're not of war, at least be part of the movement to advance your rights. So the term men of war in the Bible, men or women of war, refers to individuals who are trained and equipped for battle, often serving as soldiers in the armies of ancient Israel and other nations. These men play a critical role in the military campaigns and conquests described throughout the Old Testament. The concept of men of war is deeply intertwined with the themes of divine guidance, obedience, and the fulfillment of God's promise to his people. In the Old Testament, men of war are frequently mentioned in the context of Israel's military endeavors. The Israelites, under the leadership of figures such as Moses, Joshua, David, engaged in numerous battles to secure the land promised to them by God. These men were often selected based on their physical prowess, courage, and loyalty to God and their leaders. One of the earliest references to men or women of war is found in the book of Exodus, where God instructs Moses to count the men of Israel who are able to go to war. Take a census of the whole congregation of Israel by their claims and families, listing every man by his name, one by one. And I'm Charles Van Morgan. Count me in. Can I count you in? Subscribe to the channel. You and Aaron are to number these who are 20 years of age or older by their divisions, everyone who can serve in Israel's army or in the Army of Tennessee, the United States of America, the volunteer state. And we are at war right now, fighting the dirty judiciary with peaceful means. Nonetheless, fighting these crooks. That's so many people we have in here. We have a few. And we have a few slanderers in here. So if you think you're going to get by with stuff, you're not going to get by with a damn thing. You're not getting by with a damn thing. So you know. The book of Joshua provides numerous accounts of men of war as the Israelites conquered the land of Canaan. Joshua states, your wives, your young children, and your livestock may remain in the land that Moses gave you on this side of Jordan, but all you men of valor armed for battle must cross overhead of your brothers and help them until the Lord gives them rest, as he has done for you, and they too have taken possession of the land that the Lord your God has given them. So we're trying to fight in this time of war to protect our God-given constitutional rights. And that's exactly what we're doing. And this established, according to biblical principles, people in government power have declared war. In the Bible, there's a time of war, and it's a beautiful time. This is a beautiful time to take up the banner and fight. Revelation 12:7-9 describes a heavenly conflict where the devil and his angels are cast down. The imagery reflects the broader pattern of Satan's opposition to Yahweh, a cosmic showdown that underlines many of his works on earth. The description stands as one of the evil's primary activities. He twists the truth. The serpent's questioning of God, did God really say this? Prompts humanity's first sin, the deception in Adam and Eve's fall, illustrating how Satan works, revolving around undermining God's trustworthy voice. Accuser of the faithful. This is what they're doing. They're accusing me. So, accuser of the faithful. Scripture depicts the devil as accuser of our brethren, accuser of us, Tennesseans, emphasizing reliance on distortion and slander. Now, that's what they did to me. God taught me this distortion and slander. As I've showed you, we're going to show you some more of it. Hang on to the show. We're going to show you under oath how they slander and distort facts, plain out easy, and they're doing it to Tennesseans every day. God allowed me to learn that lesson. I wasn't a victim. I was persecuted so that I can know what persecution is, so that I can better fight them. I was educated with persecution that made me come out better, and now I'm fighting for you. So I would ask you to help me fight. We're counting the people that are going to be counted in to fight them. We have more than they do. We've got 5 million people. So the question, Joe's motives, illustrating how accusers can pressure believers into despair or disbelief. I'm not in despair or disbelief. My motives are pure. Theirs are not. Notes that Satan masquerades as an angel of light. People in government power. Major Stacy Headley masquerades as an angel of light. Got people in government power and other people that want privileges from the government, praising her to high heaven. So he subvertly twists truth, often mixing it with error so that deception appears credible. using the court system to lie. That's what they're doing. Scholars have noted how ancient manuscripts such as the Dead Sea Scrolls reveal consistent warnings about false teachings and illusions, reinforcing that deception has been confronted from the earliest records of texts of Scripture. That's what they're doing today, and that's what we're fighting. This is the new rights movement fighting deception of those few people, elite in government power, that are benefiting from their demise of you, and that's what God's put me through. I've learned, and I'm here to fight for you, and that's what we're doing. We're fighting this every day in every way. Temptation is another hallmark of the devil's activity aimed at luring people into disobedience. So don't be disobedient. Help me in this fight. Jesus shows himself being tempted by the devil. Each temptation centers to a legitimate need: hunger, security, power, yet twist the need into disobedience. Jesus counters by quoting Scripture, underscoring the critical role of the word in overcoming temptation. So Jesus was even tempted with power Satan offered him power in order to get him to worship Satan, and in order for him to do wrong. But he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And I'm asking you all, don't believe people in power. They're offering, if we go along, we'll get along, and that's not going to happen. And the temptation on the mountain, this is Matthew 48:10. The devil took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world. So they take people in the Republican Democratic Party and show them the power that they can have if they get on the conveyor belt and back up the line parties, the Democrat and Republicans. And the devil took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him the kingdoms of the world and their glory. He said, all this I will give yourself if you will bow down and worship me. Bow down and worship the Democrat or the Republican Party. Jesus answered, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So, and this is also in Luke, offering Jesus power on the earth that he did not refute, that the devil didn't have the power on the earth, didn't have the governments. He does. The devil led him to a high place and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. He said, I will give you all their authority. Satan give you all their authority. A lot of these judges and Splendor are being offered, giving them all their authority to go along with the program. It has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want. If you worship me, it will all be yours. Get on the Democrat or Republican Party. Jesus answered, it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So let's do good for the people and not for these people in power. Satan said, it has been given to me. He claimed ownership of earthly governmental power. So these people in power, the government has power over the world, over the earth, over the Tennessee government. And he offers people governmental power to enforce his will, and he wants people killed. He wants people dead. He claimed ownership of earthly government power and authority. Jesus didn't dispute that claim, only refused to worship for it. So the devil has power in people in Tennessee government. And he has offered people power in order to fulfill what Satan wants. I won't do that. And you should help me conquer these people. Satan said, it has been given to me. He claimed ownership of earthly government power and authority. Jesus didn't dispute that claim. He only refused to worship for it. And I don't dispute that claim either. So here's the person we got today. Major Stacy Heatherly, who is very wicked and I think mentally ill or demonically influenced or possessed, that I believe. And there's her picture. So after 28 years of dedicated service, it's really not funny because people. So this is the government declaring that she had dedicated service. Dedicated, wow. The fatality rate skyrocketed under her. So she was promoted just a few months ago, May the 12th, and retired before that. So she wasn't even major a year. So they promoted her to major. She gets that high retirement pay. A lot of these people in government power are promoted in order to, because they've done diabolical things and lied on people and made things less safe for you. Here's another one, Commissioner Victor Donahoe, who was in the internal investigation with me, who lied about stuff, a dirty liar, and got promoted for lying. These people will get promoted for lying in government service. And here is their lies. Now here's Major Satterfatter. Now she said that in her deposition, swearing under oath. So under your command, this is a question. So under your command, you never had an accusation to write him up or anything that you recall, Sanders. There was no counseling, but it wasn't for disagreeing with the supervisor and having verbal altercations in the court with court officers. So she's saying Major Satterfatter, she's lying, saying that I had major altercations with court officers in the court. Now that's not true. That's not true at all. My direct supervisor. Now, of course, there's no record of any major altercations with court officers because she's saying it was a verbal consultation. Obviously, that's not recorded. Did she have anything recorded that a conference or meeting about a verbal reprimand or counseling was done? No, she didn't have it. But I have record and documentation that I was exceptional and got along with court people. Now, I disagreed with them, but that does in some things, but I stated my disagreements. That doesn't mean I had major conversation with them. So here's what they said. Sanders, so under your command, you never had an accusation to write him up or anything that you recall, Sanders. There was counseling. So she says, there was counseling, but it wasn't supervisor and having verbal altercations in the court with court officers. So that's what she said. Here's what my evaluation said. Ronald McDonald, 02-29-12. Exceptional. Trooper Morgan is constantly prepared when attending any type of court, making sure that all necessary information is available to prosecute cases to the full extent of the law. He will confer with the prosecuting attorney for guidance on more serious cases. He is professional in his demeanor while attending court. Avoids any conflict with court personnel. Avoids any conflict with court personnel. Evaluation. Trooper Morgan always reports to court prepared, on time, clear, and thorough testimony. He thoroughly reviews the facts of the case when needed. He consults with the district attorney. So Trooper Morgan is consistently prepared when attending any type of court hearing. So she's saying that I have a confrontation with court Major Satterfatter. And of course that's not documented. And my evaluation says that, thank you, PRETTITINGZ. I appreciate that. So my evaluation says that I was excellent. My evaluation says excellent. And she says, this is a lie. She says under oath. Now that's a deposition under oath where I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And then goes on to lie. Of course, things that couldn't be documented, no proof of, because it was verbal. Well, I've got stuff that's documented that refutes exactly, specifically what she said. So that'd be a damn major, promoted to major thereafter for lying. Wow. So that's a dirty lie. She lied on me under oath. So she's committing a criminal offense called perjury, major satire, a major and a liar of the Highway Patrol. Now, they're lying on a trooper that's cleaning up the roads, making it safer for even them. What do you think they'll do to you? You think they'll just let you have a pass? No, they'll persecute you, they'll arrest you, they'll prosecute you, they'll put you under the jail and benefit off your demise. So that's just one lie that they told among many, many, many other lies. So they're so full of lies. So we're fighting them. We're fighting them both on the legal front. We're suing them in court. And I'm on the governor's ballot. Here's the court record. We're suing them in court. And fighting them in the judiciary, in federal court. We're on the governor's ballot. You can check my name, put us in power. We'll put them in jail. A lot of them in jail. She needs to be investigated. I'm not sure if the statute of limitations is passed. Her activities while major with Highway Patrol needs to be investigated. And they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. So people in government power are demonically influenced. And the courts, you say, these judges ain't doing that. These judges ain't doing that. Here's one judge, and they don't like me saying this, so we'll say it very clearly. What they don't want you to say, you say louder. So, Morgan for Tennessee governor, now 2026. We're in 2026. So, yeah. So we're running in 2026. Judge Gregory McMillan, this is what we're running against. Your government to you. So another Tennessee dirty judge refused to allow me to answer questions defending myself against false allegations. A special prosecutor for corrupt judges like this. Corruptly rules to get orders of protection, taking gun rights away. So they want to take your gun rights away. So friends calling friends beats bought elections. Keeps asking petitioners same question over and over until he gets response he wants to order your guns away. Abuses power, using his position to insult people. Said I didn't know the law, but had to get his law book out on numerous cases so he doesn't. If you want to keep your rights, vote him out and us in, paid for, authorized. Okay, it's Michelle Morgan, the treasurer now. And I've got to open up a bank account. I'll open it today for the campaign. So Michelle Morgan is the treasurer now. So blame the state, not the soldiers. For 2026. 2026. So we're on the ballot again, running for governor in the state of Tennessee. Now they don't want me saying this. They want me to not say this. They sanction me. They literally sanction me for speaking out against the judiciary, telling me not to do that. So what do you do when they tell you not to do something? If it's illegal, don't do it. But it's not illegal to speak out against the Tennessee judiciary. If not me and you, who will? So we'll continue speaking out against these thugs. And you say, why would the judiciary do this? Why would they do this for? Well, it's because they're appointed by people in power. Here's a picture of the governor appointing a judge. So they rule for the governor. They don't rule for you, they rule for the governor. The governor promotes him. So here we'll draw a straight line. So they rule for the governor. 3 lawyers tapped as finalists for Knox County Criminal Court. So if the governor, the alleged Christian governor, wants you prosecuted, he appointed him to judge. He'll have him prosecuted. He'll have them prosecute you. Say, but that's not the truth. Well, you won't be able to say anything. They'll tell you to shut up. Prior to that, this governor, promoted judges. Look at him here, pointing a governor, pointing one of the Supreme Court justices, swearing him in. They're friends. That promoted the colonel, the line colonel of the Highway Patrol, Justice Connie Clark. So they're all in cahoots together. They're all in one big happy family, big happy crooked criminal syndicate right here. Big happy criminal syndicate. And she adjudicated for him, the man that stepped over bodies for $1, Bill has been. He steps over bodies for money. Has poor convenience store clerks, one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and makes money off of them, exploits them. She adjudicated in his favor, took my job away from me, took my law license away from me. He wins every time, all the time. It's not a fair court hearing where you go before an unbiased judiciary. It's a court hearing that's influenced by him right there, that dirty man, dirty, sick, pathetic billionaire that got rich off your demise. So you say a judge in Tennessee will rule the truth. No, they won't. They rule for him. They rule for him. Here's another judge. I'm just telling you, the judiciary in Tennessee is crooked as hell. You think you'll go in the Tennessee courtroom and get a legitimate, fair, factual hearing? No, they will rule in favor of the state. Here's Mr. Haslam swearing in his appointed judiciary. He appoints his judge. That's his judge that he appoints it, Roger Page. So this man here appointed him to judge. So if you got a case against the government, he represents the government, did. Now his buddy represents the government. He funded Christian Governor Bill Lee. Christian Governor Bill Lee ran off his money. He didn't run off God's will. He ran off his money. So he'll rule, and he did rule in his favor against me. This dirty judge ruled a lie as true for him. They're buddies. They don't rule the truth. They rule for each other. They're one big happy family friendship. They've got power over the judiciary, defamatory, diabolic. Either they're diabolic and demonic accusers. They accuse me. He accused me, and he backs him up in his accusations against me. That's the way that works for them. It keeps them in power, doesn't it? Now, this man is such a sick, pathetic individual. Here's what he did. Now, you think, I'm a Republican. I still like Republicans. Well, is he a Republican? He ran on the Republican Party. The Republican Party in Tennessee said that Bill Haslam, and I was part of that then. I hadn't been through the education that I've got now. I voted for Bill Haslam. I thought he was a Republican. He was a good person. And there's Democrats that are good people. But I didn't get an education like I'm giving you now. I thought that these parties and these people were good people. They were out for the benefit of the public. They wanted people arrested for drunk driving that were drunk driving, even part of their family and friends. They wanted the good of society. That's why they were running. They wanted to be public servants. No, they didn't. They wanted the public to serve them. So he ran on the Republican ticket. Republicans, millions of them all across Tennessee, voted to nominate Bill Haslam as the governor of Tennessee. He went on to win the governor's race in Tennessee. And he went along with the Republican Party then when it was for his benefit. Such an arrogant man. I wonder how much blood he's got on the bottom of his shoes where he stepped on people's dead bodies' heads in effect. I mean, he's a sick, pathetic individual. I'll just call it like it is. I mean, he caused the fatality rate to skyrocket. He took me off the road while I was making thousands of driving arrests. And the fatality went skyrocketed. He did a commercial on seatbelt use that people are dying because they don't wear their seatbelt. Your lack of seatbelt use never killed anybody else. It might kill you. You should wear your seatbelt. It didn't kill anybody else. Saying that's a dramatic problem that causes mass death on society. While he was getting rid of me, and I'm the one that lowered the fatality, taking people off the road that were really causing you to really get dead, and he's saying, did a commercial on seatbelt use. What a fancy man, standing out with glass breaking in his high dollar campaign to represent himself as the savior of the world, going against people that don't wear a seatbelt. It'll get you killed. It could. And there have been instances where seatbelts have caused people to get dead because they had it on. But for the most part, Seatbelt use is good, but that doesn't cause mass casualties of other innocent people on Tennessee roadways. What I did was cause mass fatalities. What he did was lying to you about it. He's a liar, and I think he's mentally ill. I think he's demonically possessed, or one or the other, because he's diabolical. So this is what he did. Now, these people that are demonically influenced are arrogant people. So he went along with the Republican Party. I'm talking about Bill Haslam. Who does that? Billions of dollars. Well, he could pay somebody to kill me. I hope he don't. He might try. I don't know. I pray for God protects me. This is dangerous business. You think this is a joke? It's not a joke. I'm not laughing. This is very serious work God's called me for. I think he'll protect me. I don't know. I may be assassinated. It is a very real possibility that I accept. I don't think it will be. I pray for my safety every day. Ask you to, as I pray for your safety and safety of my family. Very dangerous work to go against these powerful people that have a lot of money and a lot of lies. He might have money, but he don't have the truth, and he's not a good man. He could straighten his wrong out. He won't. It's not my duty to correct his wrong and enable him. It's my duty and my job to fight him in messaging, not violence against him. I wish him no violence. I wish he'd get on his knees and ask the Lord Jesus Christ to come in his heart and correct his diabolical, demonic ways. You know, it's harder for a rich man to be saved than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. So he says one thing and does another. He's a wicked human being. Very wicked. I'll call him out. Who says that about him? Charles Van Morgan. He knows I am. He doesn't like me. He'd like to kill me, wouldn't he? And I wouldn't like to kill him. I'd like for him to repent. I hope that he does. I'm going to force him to by showing everybody how wicked he is. He doesn't know he's wicked. He thinks he's a good man. He's a legend in his own mind, isn't he? Not in mine. He's a dirty man that needs to be called out for what he is. If I were governor in his place, we'd investigate him. Maybe his rich ass ought to go to jail, like he had a lot of people put unjustifiably. Got his name on a building over there at the University of Tennessee. Haslam had to rip people off, College of Business, where he gave the university money that he got from exploiting people. And I've got my name not on the side of a building. I got my name on a degree where I learned a few damn things. And he's a fraud. He's a fraudster and a liar. And he ought to be in jail. So here's my name on a degree. Charles Van Morgan, Master of Arts. My name on a degree from the University of Tennessee, as you can see, where I learned how to fight him, which is what I'm doing now. I'm fighting him, and I'll continue to fight him. He's got his name on the side of the building over there. So here's what he did. Now when President Trump was nominated by the Republican Party to represent Tennesseans, you and all Tennesseans, and people all across America, he was nominated by Tennesseans to represent the Republican Party for the governor candidate and went on to get elected by falsehoods. And when Donald J. Trump was nominated by all Americans, millions of people all across the United States of America said, we think and we choose Donald J. Trump to be the Republican nominee for president to run against Hillary Clinton. We want him to be the president. This party does. Millions of people. And Mr. Haslam, his arrogance, now he'd like to hide this, in his arrogance, he said that millions of people across the United States of America, you're wrong. You're wrong, even though you put me in the position that I was in, because I lied to you, quite frankly. I know better than millions of people all across the United States of America that have nominated Donald J. Trump. You think that he should be the president. Although when you nominated me, I agreed with you. But when you nominate somebody else that I personally don't like, because it's all about me, I'm a millionaire, I'm better than everybody else. I know what causes mass fatalities on Tennessee roadways. It's lack of seatbelt use. Does that make any sense to you, or is that diabolical? Diabolical, man. diabolical. And I'm just pointing it out. A very powerful man. Nobody speaks out against him. They're afraid to. On the news media, he's such a wonderful saint. No, he's not. No, he's not. That's not true. I have a First Amendment right to say that. He's not a good man. He's not a good man at all. He controls a lot of government power. I don't know if he's made a deal with the devil or not. I know he controls a lot of government power illegitimately. He should not. There's somebody ought to stand up and say he's not a good man. The man that's got his nose up his hind end is not a good man either. Who says that? I do. Am I afraid of retaliation? I'm not afraid of it. Do I expect it? Yes. Have I got measures in place to protect myself against it? Hell yeah. I've got a law degree. I know how to sue them. I know how to speak out. I'm speaking out. Hopefully there's 2.3 million people in here that will be able to acknowledge, hey, look what they're doing. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen. On the ballot, one of the most people's things you can do. Well, these people try to destroy me. They may have a hit out on me. I don't know. What do you think? This is a God calling. This is a mission. Join this mission. Help me fight these people that are using the government to serve their own self-interest. So while Donald J. Trump was running for public office, he says, no, millions of people are wrong. Millions of people are wrong. Oh, you're bad, wrong. Millions of people, although when you thought that I should be advanced in politics, you're right. But when you go against somebody else that I don't personally like, you're wrong. While millions of people voted for him, after they had already nominated Donald J. Trump as a Republican nominee, he's a Republican, or is he? He says that. Haslam breaks his silence, says he won't vote for Trump. So he's trying to influence millions of people of the Republican Party that he's part of, that you made a bad decision because I'm God, I know. What arrogance, how dirty you are. Now, and Mr. Christian Bill Lee goes to his house and has fundraisers, proclaims to be Christian. I mean, really? You can see the evil from down the street around the corner. Doesn't take a real genius to figure out these people ain't good people. They're running your Tennessee government right now. And I'm not saying do like they do, be violent. I'm saying, and these are very violent people. Don't mistake yourself. They already beat me up and put me in the hospital and brought false charges against me, quickly dismissed defamation. And he's part of that Repulsive Party in the state of Tennessee that has infiltrated our churches. Church people, Republican banner, why don't you hold up the Christian banner and vote for people who are for freedom of speech so that you can spread Christianity, because these people want to spread their version of Christianity, which is very diabolical and self-serving and not the real thing, I don't believe. So he went against the whole Republican Party. Bill Haslam broke his silence, says he won't vote for Trump. Tennessee Republican governor joins chorus calling for GOP nominee to step aside. Wow. Well, guess what? He's calling for me to step aside in every way, every day. Guess what? I'm not stepping aside. I'm not going anywhere. You might have $1. I got the truth. You might have millions of people's dollars. I've got the truth. These people are violent. These people are violent. Pray for my safety as I pray for yours. Now, I wrote and part of my strategy to not to hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt these people at all. That's what they say. I've always been about protecting human lives. That's what I was doing when I was a trooper, more than anybody. And protecting your pocketbook. Those are facts. Those are real. What they're saying about me is deceitful. It's slanderous. It's demonic. What I'm saying about them is for your benefit to put out the truth so you'll go to the polls. Vote for me. Vote for Charles Van Morgan, which is a vote for yourself. These people are violent and dangerous. Let me show you how violent and dangerous these are. This is part of my strategy to protect myself. People, they think I'm stupid. Keep it thinking. But part of my strategy is to let everyone know that I am going head on in the right direction against state government. Now, the reason I'm going head on against them is they're going the wrong direction. If they don't want me to go head on against them, they need to turn around and go the other way, because I'm not changing the way I'm going. I have a rightful, lawful right to do that. I know I have a lawful right to do that. I have a doctor of jurisprudence. I know the law. They know the law too. They just pervert it. It's perverted in their favor. They're making new laws in their favor every day. So these people are violent and these people are dangerous as hell. Don't fool yourself. They're dangerous as hell. So part of my strategy to keep safe is 2.3 million people and growing every day. Spread this message, share this channel, stuff you want to hear anywhere else. If you've liked this, or you just want to get intelligence information in our campaign, but I'm not revealing all of it. Only close friends and associates and people inside the campaign. And we've gotten rid of a few traitors, and good riddance. Good riddance. They'll probably stand up against me. Go ahead. You know, there's a long list of haters. There's a long list of people who agree with a lot of what I'm saying and are going to help, and we may blow you off the map symbolically. So part of my strategy is 2.3 million people know. Other part of my strategy is to warn them that other people know and to document it. Now, I've documented it to them. I haven't made it a secret. Hey, you are dangerous people. Here's the evidence that you're dangerous. I'm presenting it right to your face. I know this. The public knows this. Keep your damn hands off me. Don't try to assassinate me. Don't try to hurt me. I'm not into assassinating and hurting them at all. I'm not. I'm speaking the truth. I'm telling you what they are, what kind of dirty, deceitful, sinister, crooked, evil people they are that damage you. And they are wicked, nasty, skanky people. And the other part of the strategy is tell them, hey, here is what I know about you. I'm telling the public this. Leave me alone. It's putting stuff that's in secret out to the whole world. That's part of my strategy to protect myself. You may do this dastardly deed to me. I hope they don't. Pray they don't. But everybody in the world will know. You'll have a martyr. Now, I don't want to be a martyr. I don't want to be a martyr. I pray that I'm not. Martin Luther King was. I don't want to go that route, and I don't think that I will. That's a possibility. I'm just telling you, get on board. That's how serious, that's how deadly this fight could be. Not on my part. It's not that kind of war. This is an information war and attrition. I'm just telling you how serious that is, how deadly and devastating they are. They're attacking me in every day, in every way. Through associates, false claims adjudicated true by their crooked, dirty, nasty judges. Not by you, the public. You're the public right now. What do you think? And I know some of what y'all think, but there's millions of Tennesseans, I hope, and millions of people around the world that are listening to what I'm saying. It's dangerous in Tennessee right now. I wouldn't recommend you come to this state right now. I hate to say that. It'll hurt the economy. That's the damn truth. You're likely to go to jail and your property taken because of people like High Bills Lee that made laws to end his taxes and raised yours because of a state highway patrol run under a diabolical colonel that thinks you have no constitutional rights, that has put, that we know of, 2,500 people in jail in the past few years for committing no crime. How many other people have they done that to? Who took the leading trooper, the state government, off the road that protected you? I would come to the state right now. Until we get control of the ballot box, until we get control of our government, until you get control of it. I'm just the man on the ticket that's been trained, that knows. No one else speaks this way. They all talk about freedom and liberty and fighting corruption, and they're part of it, and they haven't been trained like I have. I've been to school, the real school of hard knocks, of getting whipped really bad, but they didn't get it done, and they're not going to get it done. God's protected me, thank God. Now, this is part of my strategy, to let them know, hey, the world knows. Leave me alone. Your best bet, you don't like me, I get it, I know it, is to lump it, and you better lump it. That'd be your best bet. Hopefully that's the route they take, and we'll still overtake them. But I don't want to be a martyr. And here's what I wrote them a letter, letting them know, hey, I know what you're doing. I know what you're capable of. I know the evil. I'm not under a facade. I have every clear-eyed view, experienced of how dirty you are, how demonical, and how diabolical, and some of them mentally ill. And I don't listen to a word you say. I'll follow the law, but I don't listen to them. And this, you better listen to me, because the world knows. And I'm telling you, you better vote. I'm asking for your vote. Now, here's what the letter that I wrote them. This is the letter that I wrote the Tennessee bar examiners to get them to hello, Wisconsin. I had a woman who was a Seventh-day Adventist, says that her minister was possessed behind the pulpit. He rose up and screaming, so what does it matter? What type of religion are you? Okay, I don't understand that. I'm Christian. So thank you, pretty TINGZ. They're deleting a lot of messages. So I had a volunteer, and thank you so very much for your help. So this is February 10th, 2025. Charles Van Morgan, reference this case. I do not believe this is accurate information, as there were video and audio cameras obviously but received your version of the transcript. I will be traveling the state of Tennessee, legally exercising my constitutional right to publicly, peacefully speak the truth out against the Tennessee judiciary and asking people to vote them out. Now, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I had a board member, when he seen me driving legally the last time, attempted to chase me down on Gay Street in Knoxville because I spoke out against him applying for a judgeship at a public forum that requested public comment at the University of Tennessee, Baker School of Public Policy and Public Affairs. I will take any threats against my safety seriously by any government official and legally defend myself if need be at the time and attempt to prosecute this violence by the government in federal and state courts. Charles Van Morgan. So I sent this to the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners, and because they attacked me, tried to chase me down. So I'm part of my strategy in remaining safe in this fight I ask you to join is for you to be aware, and I'm letting them know, not hiding in the dark, putting everything they put in the dark out in public. This is a war that we're fighting peacefully. They're not fighting it peacefully. They're not peaceful people. They're dangerous people, very dangerous people, very destructive, both in their courtrooms and with violence. They'd like to kill me, and don't be deceived. So we're fighting them with attrition. Keep at it. It's been 13 years. We're still fighting them. They've just recently denied my law license again with fraud and perjury. And you can listen to the transcript. I put it out online. They're trying to hide. We're government. We're legitimate. No, they're not. They're against you and like to take me out because they know that if we get in power, a lot of them will be out of power, and a lot of them will be put in jail for the crimes they committed against humanity and against you. And I'm showing you some of the crimes. So they literally said that I was a problem trooper when my supervisor, direct supervisor, they testified in there. He's a problem trooper. He got counseling. They said he got counseling because they know I had no document, because counseling is not a written reprimand. It's just counseling. Well, they don't even have the counseling document because it never happened. They're lying under oath to defame somebody that they're trying to get rid of because I made them look bad, which is what they're doing now. When you look at documentation, my supervisor's evaluation of me, it said directly contrary to what they're saying. You listen to what they say about me. It's the exact opposite. It's what they're doing. They're lying about me, and they're dangerous people. It's infiltrated our churches. That's how serious it is. Infiltrated our churches. Our houses of worshiping God through the Lord Jesus Christ. It's infiltrated. Here's a member of the Republican Party that had a convention in a church building that asked me to speak. When I spoke out against their protected judges, the Republican Party protects the judiciary. That's why the Democratic Party is gaining a lot of ground in Tennessee. They've figured out how dirty they are. That man there, Bullhorn, Bellhort, or whatever his name is, and Lionel Russell, who is a legislator without any legal education, because you don't have to have an education. You have to have a servant of the master. You have to kiss the ring. I have a doctor of jurisprudence. I like to say that I'm not credible. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've passed the bar exam twice. He has no legal education, but he's on board on their shit because he'll fulfill their illegitimate, illicit orders. And the other man right here, is a leader of the Republican Party in Knoxville, a dirtbag leader of the Republican Party. Let's hear him say something about Donald J. Trump. He won't now because he's in power. Let's hear him say something about the man that said something about him, about Bill Hasbeen, the dirtbag Bill Hasbeen. He won't say anything about him because he praises everybody in the Republican Party. Look at him smiling together, and because they got their little party together that's against you. These people are against you. They've infiltrated a church. They are holding meetings in churches, refusing to allow people to speak the truth against the people in the judiciary. Speak the truth. They offered me to come, and then they shut me down for speaking. Here's my truth, that they've made it illegal by the Peace Act for me to disseminate this. It is my advertisement for governor 2026. Paid for and authorized by Charles Van Morgan. Governor 2026. Tennessee crimes caused hundreds to get killed. And they did by taking me off the road. You to get killed. I'm standing in defense of you. Now that was part of my campaign in 2022. Now they defamed me so much that I got votes in every county, but there's literally convicted felons and people that were committing crimes while they were running for governor that got more votes than me. They accused me of committing crimes. They didn't get any conviction. The other candidates that got accused of committing crimes while they were running got more votes than me and got convicted. So, I mean, you go figure. It's a information war. It's a messaging war. And we're getting the message out. We didn't get it out enough then. What does that mean? You quit because you didn't get your message out? Their lies overpowered you in that particular instance. They won a battle, so you give up the war? No, we don't give up the war. Attrition, you keep fighting. We haven't lost anything. We learned some lessons. We're moving forward. There's a point that the scales will tip in our favor, that we will overcome the false defamation. We're trying to do it a little every day, putting out a little bit of, hey, they said this. They said that I got warnings because I got into horrific verbal altercations with officers of the court when they have no record of that. Didn't happen. And then they accuse me of doing that. And at the same time, my direct supervisor says in document, they have no documents, the direct opposite. And if I did get in confrontations with people in the officers of the court, it was in a professional manner on my part and unprofessional on their part, because they didn't like me arresting family members of the Knoxville damn dirty bar. And I'll say that. So if you like the way things are going, you think you get a fair shake in a Tennessee courtroom, in a Knoxville courtroom. Not all the Knoxville attorneys are bad. I will say that Knoxville bar is a bunch of dirty hypocrites that are getting rich off you, supporting these judges that rule in their favor against you. And they didn't like me arresting and putting their family members in jail, just like I did everybody. So the Knoxville bar hates me. Big deal. Big deal. People that hate me, good. I don't want you to have any concern about me until you change your ways. I don't hate them. I wish they'd hold up the banner. So this is what that was the campaign in 2022. So give it up. They want us to give up. That's part of their psychological warfare. We're going to fight him so bad he gets few votes, although I got quite a few, got votes in every county except for one across the state of Tennessee. So I did pretty well in spite of the defamation. False defamation. I knocked on about 40,000 doors all across the state of Tennessee. Got a lot of votes. Now defamation rooted some of them out. We're trying to overcome that. And they'd like to tell me don't run again. In Knoxville, I got less votes than a convicted felon, and I've never been convicted of any felony, never been convicted of any crime, but yet they're defamation because I'm dangerous to them. So they got to attack me. They do it every day in every way. Call me all kinds of things. When the truth is, they are what they're calling me. They're dangerous to you. I'm not dangerous to you. I would be a great asset, a great help to you, and I will be, and we could win this. So they told me not to run. Does it look like I'm listening to them? What they tell you not to do, that's what you do. So Tennessee government crimes cause hundreds to get killed. I did this in 2022, I'm doing it in 2026. Morgan, governor, 2026. Live now, that's what you're watching now. Fraudulent elections, they biased elections. And they say, you didn't get many votes, go away. Look at this. Here's my message today. We're still here. We're still here. Hey, Tennessee people in government power. You didn't get her done. We're still here. Why are we still here? Why are we still here? Look at this. I'll show you why we're still here. Look at this right here. They took me off the road. The next year, 78 more deaths on Tennessee roadways. Year to date, 78 more people got killed on Tennessee roadways. Year to date. It went over 1,000 the next year, was under 1,000 the previous year. 78 more deaths on Tennessee roadways. The next year after they took my position away from me, more people got killed on Tennessee roadways. Tennessee government crimes cause hundreds to get killed. They defamed me more and got a lot done. Give up. We're still here in your face. Tennessee government. I'm not quitting for Tennessee. I'm not giving up for Tennessee. We're still going to fight these people. And we're going to win. There's a tipping point. There's a tipping point where we win this fight. So here in 2010, I made more drunk driving arrests than any trooper in the state. 2011, I made more drunk driving arrests than any trooper in the state, protecting the roads. And they accuse me of wrongdoing because I'm making them look bad. Bill Lee campaigned in churches promising loving our neighbors more than ourselves, opposing injustice wherever we find it, standing firm in principles even when it's unpopular. He led the government that way. No, what he's done instead. He's promoted people like Major Stacy Heatherly to high positions. Hey, Mr. High Bills Christian Lee, injustice wherever you find it. Right here. Hey, Bill, injustice. Now, I'm not saying that because I need him to correct injustice. I'm not saying that. Now, I ask him to correct injustice because that's for him. Because love your enemies. I love my enemy. I love Bill Haslam. I love Bill Lee. They don't have to correct injustice for me. God's going to work that out for me. God's on my side. God's on the side of the defamed. God's on the side of the fatherless and the widow. And he says, don't step on their fields. They stepped on my fields. God says he'll show up for people that cry at all against people that have damaged them, if you're a father or widow or a stranger in the land. These people have stepped on my field wrongly. They've stepped on your field. By stepping on my field, they took me off the road where I can't protect you. I'm still out trying to protect you. They just changed the fight. Now the fight's against them. I don't need them to correct the situation to make it all better for me. That's not why I'm asking them to correct the situation. I'm asking them to correct the situation for their own benefit, not mine. God's got me. God's going to make things just fine for Charles Van Morgan. I'm in his hands. My life is in his hands. I trust in that. I have faith in that. That's the reason why I don't got to go hurt them. They won't make any difference to me if they clear things up. If they don't, God can clear things up. If he chooses. If he don't, I'll live with it. If he don't, all things work together for good for those that are called according to his purpose. Let me assure you, I'm called according to God's purpose. I promise you that. I'm fulfilling God's promise right now. They need to correct what they've done for their own benefit, not mine. It makes no difference to me. Out of love, I'm saying correct it. You've done wrong, Bill Lee. You've done wrong, Bill Haslam. Correct it for your own benefit because I cry to God and God punishes the wicked. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. That's what my description says. And it will. And they're wicked and their wickedness will come to an end. You know, correct your wickedness before payday. Maybe limit the price that you got to pay. So I don't need them to correct anything. They need to correct it to benefit them. You need to confess your faults before men so that God doesn't have to expose them before men and make you pay for it. So they need to correct their faults. Now here they are, big old buddies, ain't they? Big old buddies hugging up on each other in that government power where they lied to you. They lied to you. He said he'd correct injustices, and he's backing up one of the most unjust men on the history of the planet that's so arrogant that he tried to control the presidency of the United States, not to give it to a man that has been good for America, that is fighting a just holy war. He wouldn't have fought a just holy war. That man fought a just, unjust, unholy war against you, and it wound up on the streets in Tennessee with mass fatalities. He's a wicked man. That man said it in correct injustices. Instead, he's hugging up to somebody that's a wicked, evil, either demonically possessed or mentally ill man. And they both have got a little dose of both of them. Nobody says that except me. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. Get this message out. This is the new social movement. This is the new rights movement, March 2026. The other ones are in the past. They were good. We learned from them. They accomplished a lot. I thank the people, the women of the voters' rights movement, the men and women of the civil rights movement, and the men and women of the voters' rights movement for women's suffrage rights. Thank them. They stood up in their time and place and advanced the good cause for all Tennesseans, for all Americans. And that was then. They stood up. I'm asking you today, that was then, this is now. There's a new time, a new place, a new wrong, new falsehoods that we need to stand up against. The government in Tennessee has turned rogue, turned wrong, turned diabolical, turned a lot of mentally ill people in the government, have sold their soul to the devil for power or demonically influenced. We got one the other day. We got one. Look at the picture icon. We got it. We're advancing things. We're moving forward. We're going to continue to do that. I'm asking you, pick up the banner. Be brave like those people. This is now. They did a wonderful thing. They're proud, and we're proud of what they did to advance the good of society. I'm asking you today, pick up that banner. Be proud today. Advance your good for your society. Pick up the banner. Vote. Voters of truth enraged. And after we get in office, I'll be on the ticket to represent you. It'll be voters of Tennessee encouraged. Voters of truth encouraged against these people. This is the battle lines very clearly. The elite, rich line elite that have caused mass fatalities on the roadway. Got one other day. Look at the picture icon. We got her. We took her down, took her out. Not in a violent way. She's retired off the planet. Now, we still got a lot of work to do. She's still got power, but we limited a little bit of it, and we did that. We did that. Don't deceive yourself. We did that. Thank the good Lord in heaven. Thank God for your victories, your small victories. We took one out. We got one. We're still getting some more. And we hope to take over the governor's office to advance this cause in the state of Tennessee for you, promising to meet with Tennesseans in a different city every month to explain what we're doing, listen to you. They don't listen to you. They don't care what you say. They lie to you to get in public power so you can benefit them. Governor Haslam lowered his taxes, ended his inheritance tax completely, while he raised yours with a safety road act. Always make the taxes you pay sound good. And ended his taxes. How horrific. There's a food tax now. I'll try to end that food tax. There should not be a tax on people's survival on food. Governor Bill Lee declined to secure millions in your tax money you already paid in federal funds to feed Tennessee kids during the summer this year. That's what that man's done. Diabolical, sick, pathetic individual. Claims to be a Christian, starving little kids out. You say, well, that's welfare. Did Jesus say that we're going to make people work before we fed the 5,000? No, he didn't. And I'm not saying if you don't work, you shouldn't eat, but I'm saying we're going to make kids to eat. We're going to make kids work to be able to eat. They raised the fatality rate. You can see from 2002 to 2011, the fatality rate was on the way down. In 2012, when they lied on me, their diabolical defamation of the leading trooper in the state serving you, the fatality rate skyrocketed. They used the judiciary, judge swapping, to point a judge that they had in their pocket to remove a judge that would have adjudicated fairly. There are some judges in Tennessee. They try to bully us. Look, they got little baseball bats out, and they're trying to bully us. There's a good picture of it. Trying to bully Tennesseans, trying to bully me. Well, we're not backing down, Bill Haslam. We're not backing down. We're not going anywhere. We're here for the duration, here to stay. So, they got awards for what they did to me. They took me off the road, but they got awards for what I was doing when I was on the road. So why would they get rid of me? That's hard to believe. Now, they said that I was a bad person, so they took me off the road, said I did evil things, which I did not. That's not true what they're saying. They're lying. They're defamers. They're like Satan, Lucifer, deceitful slanderers. And they slandered me and my children and taught me a lesson. That's why I'm here today. I didn't know that took place in government. I know it now. A lot of Tennesseans do. It's not a hard sell to tell Tennesseans that people in government power are corrupt. I mean, they tell me that before I tell them that. I'm telling you, I know, I get it. Let's get on with this. Let's pick up the banner like some of our foremothers and forefathers did and advance this cause and get in the governor's office, build some more jail cells, not for you, for them. We may be able to clear enough innocent people out of jail cells to put them in it. That's just the truth. That's what we'll do. I'm not being deceitful. I'm telling you what kind of government I'll run. It'll be one that you run, meeting with you in every city. So they got awards for what I did after they said I was bad. Why they get awards for what I did if what I did was bad? Doesn't make any sense. Diabolical defamation. So let me show you this. Tennessee Highway Patrol Colonel Tracy Trott named the agency Knoxville District as the 2711 District of the Year at a special award ceremony held last Thursday in Murfreesboro. This is the first time a district has been recognized for its oral achievement. Now he's dead now. God got another one. I mean, God works in mysterious ways. He died at a relatively young age. Tracy Trott's a liar. He's a liar, and he's standing before God for that right now. He don't need to have a legacy, which the government's telling you he's a wonderful person. I mean, you look on Facebook, wonderful, served and represented. No, he didn't. He caused people, your family, to get dead. Who says that? Me. Why do I say that? Because it's the truth. If you give them false credit and a false legacy, you encourage other people in power now to do whatever they want to do, because it doesn't matter when they die, people will praise them anyway. That's not right. I'm not going to do it. Tracy Trott was a deacon and a liar in a church. They've infiltrated the church. He infiltrated the church. He wasn't a good man. He gave an award after he defamed me for stuff I did. If I did so bad, why was he giving an award out? For stuff I directly did. No question. Hands down. Deceitful. What a tangled web we weave when at first we attempt to be Tracy Trott, which was a horrible deceiver, a Christian, allegedly, and a deacon in a church. Wow. And leave it to me to point it out. Yeah, God put me through a lot of mistreatment to show you how diabolical and evil and wicked these people are. And I'm going to do it. It's God's will. Let's help them push them in the ditch. So I was making more arrests than anybody in the state in 2011, which they got rid of me. And then they got awards for for my conduct while I was at home looking for a job without income, and they were getting awards for what I did. If I was so evil, why'd they get rid of? If what I did was so great that they gave the whole district an award for my doings, why'd they get rid of me? Because they lied. Because what I was doing was good. So here's what they did in February 12, 2012, Tennessee Highway Patrol. Colonel Trott named the agency's Knoxville District 2011 District of the Year at a special award ceremony held last Thursday in Murfreesboro. This is the first time a district has recognized for its overall achievements. The THP Knoxville District is very deserving, that's where I work, of this honor, Colonel Tracy Trott said. He can't say anything now, he's dead. I can say stuff about him. Charles Van Morgan was very deserving. Their leadership is top-notch. That's false. Their leadership lied. I just showed you how they lied. Look at Major Satterfatter, who said that I had gotten verbal warnings for stuff that I never got verbal warnings for. And their approach to DUI enforcement and overall traffic safety. Their approach to DUI enforcement. Charles Van Morgan's approach to DUI enforcement. I made more arrests. I was fired. They're giving them awards for stuff that I did. Overall safety efforts among the best in our agency. Among the best, I was the best. This marks the start of a new tradition, and I hope that each of our 8 districts will challenge themselves to earn the District of the Year award in 2012. he added, so Sean Callahan 21, like someone kind of comedy show. It ain't a comedy show, you dirtbag thug piece of dung. Yeah, that's what you are. So you just think I don't fight back? You're just, let me screenshot your picture so I can put it on my Facebook page and call you a dirtbag. You want to fight me? I'll fight back. He's proud of the most arrests. How many were actually a crime? Every one of them were a crime. Every one of them are a crime, dirtbag, and saved your life, you piece of shit. You think I won't fight you? I'm going to blow your picture up and put it on Facebook and put your comments on there and talk about how stupid. None of them came back 0-0 like they do nowadays. And I'm proud of saving the people, getting them out of cars. People that were drunk driving even thanked me for what I did. So, you're just a thug. You're just a dirty liar. You're just a hater. You're just a defamer. And I'll fight you back too, you sick, pathetic individual. Once you go get a job. And got promoted for fraud. So Department of Safety, Homeland Security, Bill Gibbons, and Tennessee Highway Patrol Concentration announced changes to Highway Patrol top command staff. Richard Dean Hurley has been promoted from major to lieutenant colonel. And he's the one that lied on me. The operation. Colonel Sanders has been promoted from captain to major, supervising the field operations for the promotion of. So they got promoted. They got promoted for lying. They got promoted for lying. And Sean Crunch was timed out by Brett for 86. Thank you. So I got help on here. I appreciate it. So they lied. They lied on me. They lied on me. I was out. They lied on me. They said I was bad. I made more drunk driving arrests than trooper in the state, protected people. And yes, I'm proud of arresting people. If you're out drinking and driving, you're dangerous to yourself and other ones. I was doing you a favor. So they got rid of me for making the most drunk. They got rid of me, lied on me, and then they got awards for the most drunk driving arrest in a district that I made after I wasn't even there anymore. And then they got promoted for lying against me. This is how state government operates for themselves. It don't operate for you. So they literally lied on the leading trooper in the whole state of Tennessee, got rid of me, defamed me, demonically or mentally ill, which I think a little of both, Major Satterfatter, and we got one today, Captain Major Helderly, and then they got an award. I was bad, but they got an award for what I did after I was gone. Wow. And then they got promoted for making the roads more dangerous, for lying and making it more dangerous for you, for even damaging the potential of your pocketbook later on. The economy, stupid. Not you all, but them. Because I lowered your economy by arresting people for financial crimes that raise your economy, that raise the price of food. So they got promoted for hurting the economy. They got promoted for arrest, for lying on somebody that made arrests that protected society, for arrests that I made. Wow, that's a pretty good trick, isn't it? To get by with all that. That's a pretty damn good operation going on in their favor against you. So they got promoted for fraud. Is what they got promoted for, and I'm not going along with the program. Are you going along with the program? I wouldn't suggest it. So in the future, we'll tell you about some more lies and what the Highway Patrol is doing against you every day. And we have the numbers. And they're trying to bully you, trying to bully me. We have the numbers to overtake them, to beat them at their own game, and to win the governor's office. We have the numbers in our favor. There's 5 million people that didn't vote, didn't take any effort that we know of to vote. There's 5 million people that either were registered and didn't vote or didn't get registered and didn't vote. They only got 1 million people that won the governor's race. So there's 5 million people that we need to contact, that we need to wake up and get involved in the social movement. And if you didn't participate in the next election, the last election, that's okay, because you have more power than they do. Because if they show up in full force, 1 million people, you can demolish them, wipe them off the planet. If we get 20% of the people that didn't participate, we win the election. Only a small part of the people. If we get all of them, we win in a landslide. If we get 21, 22%, we beat the 1 million that they put in power. So we got more people than they do, and we're waking up with the cold, hard truth. No violence. I don't seek any violence against this people. I'm telling you the facts. I seek for you to spread the message, share, like the channel, contribute if you can, and help us get the message out. This is a fight of messaging, which I just did today. We'll do it again tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. And voting. Show up at the polls, and we can outnumber them. Friends calling friends beats bought elections. So we'll cover some more stuff tomorrow. Some more of the discussing stuff about wicked people in government power. Some more of the facts. And thank you all for joining. And as we always say, God loves you, and I do too. Until next time, goodbye.